How is it going, you guys? AZ Plyo 21 back again with another episode of our UFC save here in WMMA 5 Reborn, and it is UFC Fight Night Dvalishvili versus Font. So another big main event in the bantamweight division. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Rob Font in what should be a very interesting fight card. You can see Robbie Lawler, Mackenzie Dern, Bilal and Mike Chiesa, Wonder Boy on the card. It should be a very interesting card. We are making our way towards UFC 298 Adesanya versus Cannonier. Middleweight title will be on the line in that main event. The next month, we'll have two pay-per-views. McGregor versus Gaethje, 299, and then UFC 300 Jones versus Rosenstrike in Georgia. That sees the return of John Jones as he defends against Biggie Boy Yair Rosenstrike, and then Brandon Moreno defends the flyweight crown against a returning Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson. Amanda Nunes defends the featherweight crown against Josiane Nunes as well. That should be a good one. Appreciate you guys, whether you are watching on YouTube or Twitch. Like I've always mentioned, be sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you have not already done so. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, I always appreciate it. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking of the save thus far. Really enjoy bringing this save to you guys, and definitely gonna have a little bit more time on my hands this weekend as I'm recording this. A happy Labor Day to whoever sees this video will probably come out after Labor Day, but it is what it is. Hope you guys are having a good one. Let's get right into it. And I just wanted to give a quick update. One dude keeps mentioning George Hardwick, so he wanted a quick little update on him. If you guys want any updates on any specific fighters, if you're curious about a fighter that you might want me to sign, definitely let me know in the comment section. I will take a look. But George Hardwick, this guy is a real big fan. Cage Warriors champion, of course. He already has a win against Elvis Brenner, and he is currently slated to fight this month in a couple episodes, it looks like. So hopefully he can get a big win over Michael Feeklock, and then if he gets that win, he'd be 2-0. Maybe get the popularity up a little bit. Maybe we put a little bit more of a push on him. Definitely a high-level regional in the British Isles, so if we were to go to London, maybe look to take him there. But for right now, definitely not very well known to the American audience, so can't put him on any main cards or main events or anything like that. Let's get into it. Dvalishvili and Rob Font are taking place in South Carolina. My cat is trying to climb on top of me. We cannot be having that. Get into it, starting of course with our prelims. Claudio Del Nino Puelles taking on Nazim Sadikov. And you can remember Claudio Puelles, we did have him recently lose to Dan Hooker, as he comes out and gets a unanimous decision victory over the young man from Brooklyn, the Peruvian fighter with the 13th win of his career. Carl Deaton taking on Eric the Ghost Pepper Gonzalez, interesting name, at 155, and it is the Ghost Pepper with the knockout win in round number 2, the 15th win of his career. You love to see it. Moving right along, Preston Parsons taking on Yusaku Kinoshita. This one in the welterweight, 170 welterweight division. 10-4 taking on 7-2, and it is Preston Parkins with the submission victory, now improving to 2-3 in his UFC career thus far. Chris Duncan taking on Natan Levy. Now, Natan Levy recently went viral because I guess some super racist dude was talking mad shit to him because he's Israeli, he might be Jewish, just talking a bunch of weird shit and very racist kind of stuff. And Natan just invited him into the gym and said, like, hey, you think you can kick my ass? Come in here. The dude actually said yes, and Natan was basically toying with the dude, could have destroyed him and just give him a little beating. Good for him. As he looks to fight Chris Duncan, and Natan does get the victory. Unanimous decision. He improves to 9-1, beating the Scottish fighter. Chase Hooper taking on Gabriel Benitez here today. Chase 12-4 now. Benitez, a very game veteran of the octagon, as it is Chase Hooper with the guillotine submission in round number 3. He improves to 5-4 now in the UFC, so he is definitely keeping busy, and that's all you really can do, just keep busy and keep fighting and getting better. Douglas Silva de Andrade taking on Julio Arce in the bantamweight division, and it is Arce with the TKO. It looks like de Andrade got cut, and the doctor stopped the fight in round number 2. Kyler Phillips taking on Raoni Barcelos on the prelims. Kyler Phillips in real life beat Raoni Barcelos, And it is the other way around. Barcelos beating Kyler Phillips via TKO in round number 3. That's a tough one for me because Kyler, trains out of the gym that I used to train at here and over in Surprise, Arizona. He does work over at the MMA lab as well, but he's mainly in this Surprise gym with his main coaches, and he gets a loss here today, unfortunately. Jesus Santos Aguilar taking on Jafel Filio in the prelims. At flyweight, the Mexican fighter looking for his 9th win, and he gets it, taking it back to Tijuana with a submission victory in round number 3. Ashley Evans Smith taking on Bia Malecki in the bantamweight division. Ashley Evans Smith looking to avoid going 500. Malecki looking for her 5th win, I should say. And Ashley Evans Smith does get the win via decision. She improves to 7-5. All 5 of her losses coming in the UFC. I mean, can't really ask for too much more than that. And she thinks she can fight Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Love to see that. Karine Silva taking on Casey O'Neill. That is in the flyweight division, I believe. It is. O'Neill, underdog to Karine Silva at 30 years of age, and with good reason. Karine Silva, 16-4 as she gets the win via decision here today. A perfect 2-0 in the UFC thus far, and you'd imagine she will be ranked after this fight. We get to our main card, and it is Ruthless Robbie Lawler taking on Lorenz Larkin, making his UFC debut from Bellator. Lost recently for the championship to Yaroslav Amosov. Before that, had not lost since 2017. That is insane. So Lorenz Larkin definitely doing rather well for himself. And we can see if he wins here in this UFC debut, Robbie might be on the retirement block, and he wins. Robbie Lawler with the TKO victory over Lorenz Larkin here today, and he retires anyways. Good for him, going out on a win. Lorenz Larkin in a little bit of a tough spot now, debuting, getting TKO'd. Mackenzie Dern taking on Xiaonan Yan. Remember, Xiaonan just recently fought for the title. So Mackenzie Dern could be in line for a little bit of a title shot. Should she? Actually, no. That is not the case. For whatever reason, Yan all the way down to number 9. And she's recently beaten Mackenzie Dern. And she does the exact same thing. Why did I book this fight? It might have been an injury that I just had to put Dern in. But yeah, Dern had already lost to Yan, and she loses to her again. 12-5 now, Mackenzie Dern is. That is not a very good step in the right direction for her career. A couple really good middleweight prospects in Joe Pyfer and Caio Borralho. Borralho looking for the 16th win of his career. Pyfer looking to stay undefeated here in the UFC at 3-0. Last winning over Chris Curtis. And it is Caio Borralho getting the win via submission in round number 2. He is perfect in the middleweight division. 6-0 win over Imavov, and now a big win over number 10, Joe Pyfer. Him goes up the rankings. Moving right along, we have Mike Chiesa taking on Bilal Muhammad. Now in this game, Bilal lost to Gilbert Burns, so he's a little bit on the back burner. Mike Chiesa on the other side getting a win over Gunnar Nelson. And so we'll see who gets the big win here in the welterweight division. And it is Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad, knocking out Mike Chiesa in round number 1. I did not think that would happen. But good for Bilal. Big win for him as we get to our co-main event of the evening. Jack Della Maddalena taking on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy getting up there in age. Hopefully he can get a big win here over a fighter who has impressed thus far here in the UFC in JDM. You have Wonder Boy, who is coming off beating Kevin Holland, but then losing to Shavkat on that Jones versus Stipe fight card. And he now finds himself 5 months later, 40 years of age, really needing a big win to stay in the hunt. Otherwise, he might call it quits in our co-main event. And it is Jack Della Maddalena winning via unanimous decision here today. Let's see what Wonder Boy decides to do. And Wonder Boy has retired. Ouch. So JDM getting a big win over Wonder Boy here tonight. And we go to our main event of the evening. In the bantamweight division, we have Rob Font, always a top contender in the division. Coming off 2 straight wins, Adrian Yanez and Dominic Cruz. That's a huge win. And he takes on Merab Dvalishvili, losing to Corey Sandhagen, and now needing maybe another 1 or 2 wins before he's in line for a title shot as we get our main events underway. Dvalishvili coming in to engage, quick punches, looking to strike. Huge favorite is Merab. Would not be surprised to see him win, but Rob Font is always a game opponent, and he's been knocked out. A minute and a half into the first round, Merab Dvalishvili knocks out Rob Font. And so he is, like I said, right there. What did Merab do? Did he lose to... He lost to Sandhagen, who is now the interim champion. So maybe another win, and Merab's probably fighting for the title, but there's a lot of guys up there who could claim, you know, to have a right to fight for the title. So it's going to be very tough. He will get a performance bonus, and so will Bilal. And that's going to do it. And we lose a little bit of money, but it is what it is. Highest paid fighters on the night, Bilal Muhammad, Robbie Lawler, and Merab Dvalishvili. Love to see it. Appreciate you guys as always. Like I said, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, be sure to stay tuned. A lot more, episodes of this coming. We got Adesanya and Cannonier. That is the next pay-per-view. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm AZ Plyo 21, and I will see you guys at the fights.